as one of the provisions was that Riverland Ag had until September 30th of this year to...
So they're negligent.
Well, wait, let me just finish and then we can...
Hang on, we're trying to get you more slack. Don't work against me now.
They had until September 30th to contact the city to discuss what their plan was to address the non-conforming signs. So that was...
Whose mandate was that? Was that from the city?
That was written in the statement of intent. That's provision for the statement executed between the Riverland and the city, right? And so Dave Less, in his usual diligent manner, contacted Riverland on I think September 10th, and said, hey, you know, look, the clock is ticking. You know, we have until September to talk about what your plan is regarding the sign. You know, at no time did he say, remember, the sign's got to come down. It was, contact us so we can talk about what the plan is. The response a week later from the CEO to Dave was, one of my people are going to be contacting you. And then the next thing we saw was the Johnny lift up there. So I can honestly say that we're as surprised as you were.
So that date was last Wednesday, right, or Thursday?
What date was?
Their deadline, when you saw like the equipment up there to remove it, so they technically cannot be removing that at that time. Right?
They have until the end of the year. They have until December 31st to remove it,
but there
unless
was communication that they were going to do that. So the
right. The whole point of Dave Less reaching out to them was, look, let's have a conversation about what we're going to do with the signs. But that that conversation never happened. They just went straight to removing them. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. You know, you really have to ask them. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that they would just kind of go ahead and do it, because had we been able to have a dialogue about it, we may have been able to come to some agreement.
Then why are you asking if, or why we were surprised when you weren't surprised also?
Mm-hmm.
And what about the process of permits that they would need? I mean, maybe there's only one permit they need to do this, but if, I don't know, to block off a sidewalk for construction equipment, I'm sure we have an ordinance about that.
Let's not even get into lead remediation.
Well, okay, there you go.
I'm just saying, I own a house that like predates that, and there's issues. So what about the paint that's on that solid they're gonna power wash?
It's probably 40% lead.
Have you guys, I got one more question. Have you guys been aware of the Wisconsin Alliance for Children's communication with the mayor at all? And their advocation of taking down the mural because it, you know, in their eyes promotes alcoholism among youth, which is, you know, it's been talked about that Justin was in talks with these people, and this is one of the reasons why the original vinyl is coming down, not much, you know, the artwork underneath. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I'm not aware of any communication. Frankly, I don't have an opinion either way of whether or not those murals promoted drinking. My personal opinion is I think it's a bunch of horse hockey. I don't think that, you know, having those there would be convincing young children to partake in alcoholic beverages. So I don't buy that argument. The real issue is that the city has an ordinance that says that you cannot have a non-conforming sign on a building that doesn't, you know, that doesn't produce that.
There are so many
But, let me finish. Just, let me finish my sentence, and then you can say, the fact is we have an ordinance. Now that does not mean that ordinances cannot be changed. So.
Hallelujah.
But you have to have a conversation about it. There has to be a reason, and Alderman Abel expressed, you know, what some of the parameters are to change it. The point is we never got an opportunity to even have that dialogue. So again, you know, I understand your anger and your frustration, but
I don't think
I
anybody's
would
angry.
respect.
Well, let's not even.
Well,
Because nobody's angry, we're passionate about it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Right.
that's way
That's
different
a
than
better
anger.
word.
I
We don't
think-
hate anybody in the
no.
city, we do not.
Yeah, we're
not
frustrated.
You're
angry.
frustrated, and I get that.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
I would say that your frustration, really, I mean, my frustration right now is with Riverland Egg, that they really didn't give us an opportunity to have that conversation. So
So why would you
I
have
don't know.
needed the conversation if it was in the agreement? It was already done.
The agreement said that by September 30th, that they were to contact us to talk about a plan to address the signs, the nonconformity of the signs. It does not specifically
Take the
say
sign down?
that they have to remove it, just that it says that they are a non-conforming sign, so I believe that the vinyls did have to come
And we're
down.
November, which is more than a month later, so there's a loophole.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I can see the vinyl.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
The
want to say.
vinyl isn't the
We have some
issue,
time.
we're not talking about the vinyl, we're talking
Okay,
about the mural.
and I just want to say that as far as what I see from all this, first of all, whoever has been lobbying the mayor has not been lobbying anybody else on council that I know of. I haven't heard any talk about the appropriateness or inappropriateness of it. Our perspective from the time we put it in the statement of intent was because the city code requires that the signs be related to the business that's in there, and that's for a very explicit purpose, so that people don't come along saying they want to paint a sign on, and I used this example just a little earlier, what do we do when the Milwaukee PC building comes along and they want to paint a Coca-Cola advertisement on the side? Well, what happens when they want to paint a Gold Diggers ad on the side? So once you do these things, you need to make sure that you have rationale for granting exceptions. Now, nobody knew what they were going to find underneath there.
Oh,
Well,
the natives did.
Well,
We only painted it once every 20 years.
if you just let me finish, in our talks with Riverland, those were their exact words. We don't know what we're going to find when we take those banners down.
Regardless of whether they
Okay.
said that or not, that doesn't mean that people
Yeah.
didn't know. That just says that they
So-
did say that.
What I anticipated they would find was an extremely faded, beat up
Lead paint
image up
base.
there. So I think everybody's surprised by what they found, but I think what they found changes things, as well as the commitment of the community to preserve that. Now, if you can formulate a plan that'll make that work and work with Riverland to do that, I don't believe that the council is not going to support that.
What I see right now is there's an emergency, and tomorrow morning
Yeah.
they're scheduled to sandblast this thing. So communication with Riverland, we're going to get their corporate headquarters. Then we're going to get transferred to somebody else. There's one person who can change that, one person that has a number, one person that is obviously not here, and one person that is kind of obviously doesn't think it's an important issue, and that's Mayor Nichols. So we need to get him to call. And the ball's in Riverland's court. That's all good and great, but this is an emergency.
Yeah.
And it's an art emergency. As a professional artist, I'm a working artist. I'm a muralist, and I'm doing a mural next year. This is a big, huge problem, and I would love to have the commission to do it. I'd love to have the commission to put something great up there. I don't need to, because something great already exists up there, and it takes somebody who has the number, who has the clout, to say to Riverland Egg, hey, check this out, we got a petition, almost 1,000 signatures, we got all these people concerned, can you please halt this? Because 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to be squashed by a truck, that's what's coming down to. And that's how passionate I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against you guys. This is an emergency. I don't give a crap about the vinyls.
And
They're gone. They're gone forever, they're incinerated.
And the
What
only guy-
remains is art.
The only guy at Riverland that I can contact is Dave.
Sure, and
Which
that's,
obviously you guys can too.
we've already,
But I'm sure that you've done that, but I will certainly contact the mayor.
Yeah.
I will send
As
him an
have
email, I'll
dozens
send
of
him
people.
a text, asking him to contact the president of the company first thing in the morning and say, hold off on this.
Hey, did we hear Dan?
Yeah, Dan?
Earlier, Justin called me just a little while ago to state that I should pass on that he has some veterans event tonight, but that he's been in touch with them and it's looking good.
All
That's
right.
good, that's great to
Looking
hear.
good.
Yeah, that's
Good.
good.
Thank you.
Better than nothing.